Hi, did you notice that you always have the same amount of money in your bank account? Don't take my word for it, just go take a look at your bank account for the last year. You will see, beginning of the month, middle of the month, and at the end of the month is always the same amount of money. And there's a very specific reason for that, and it is to do with your nervous system capacity. And unless you learn to increase that capacity, unfortunately, you will always have the same amount of money in your bank account. So, in today's session, this is what we are going to talk about. We are going to talk about why you are stuck in the same level of income and what actually capacity means, some of the signs that your nervous system fears expansion, why forcing yourself, like grinding, trying harder does not work. And I am also going to tell you how to expand your nervous system capacity with examples from my own life, from my client's life. And so let's go. One of the first things I want to do, it is so important for me to have complete honesty and integrity throughout this video. I'm not one of those gurus here to tell you that I've done this, I've made millions of dollars, and this is what I did. No, after years of good girl conditioning, so I am also in this journey of learning and expanding my own capacity. So in here, we're going to share insights, we're going to talk honestly. I know what I'm talking about. I have been a therapist for years and I'm finally learning to implement what I have been teaching. So, one of the first things that I want to cover is some of the money beliefs that you might be holding on to. And I know it became a little bit of a hype word like money beliefs, money doesn't come easy, but it might be a little bit deeper than this. So, for example, for me, for years working as a therapist, I somehow developed this belief that if I am a genuinely caring, loving person who wants to help others, I should not be charging much. Or even better, do it for free. Like, I don't know how I'm going to eat, but so I somehow developed this belief, and I know where it came from. A lot of the time, if you kind of even go through the comments of someone selling something, a lot of the time people will say things like, well, if you really cared about people, then you would not really be charging for this service, right? This happens all the time. And you might have come across like there's this belief that good things should come for free. People should not really be charging if they really want to help. So, this belief really impacted on how I approached my business, how I approached my therapy work. And you can actually see how absurd it is because we live in a world, sadly, we have to charge for things because we have to go and buy food. So, this was my belief that kind of really kept me stuck because I felt almost ashamed saying to someone, this is how much I'm going to be charging for a session. I still do a little bit. That kind of comes up a little bit because the old patterns, they're not so easy to just rip out. But the important thing is that I am learning to do things differently. And this is what I want to help you do because there is no shame in wanting to create a better life for yourself, right? We shame ourselves and we shame others, mostly because we are jealous or envious of what others are achieving, more than actually this is really what we believe to be true. So, in order to work out what your money belief might be that is kind of keeping you stuck, like you can just kind of do a little bit of self-inquiry and you can really ask yourself how you feel about money. When you talk about money, what comes up for you? What kind of feelings do you get? What kind of physical sensations do you get when someone tells you, oh, I've made that much money? How do you feel? What feelings come through? So just do a little bit of self-inquiry and work out what is your money belief. So this was mine, that if I'm doing something that helps others, I should not really be charging for it. So now let's talk about expansion of nervous system capacity. This is actually interesting because what happens a lot of the time is that we all have a certain limit of what we believe we deserve. However, this baseline have come about, we all have a certain baseline of how much we think we're capable of holding, how much we think we're worth, right? And the interesting thing is, some months you might make a little bit more money, okay? And if you make a little bit more money, watch what happens. A lot of the time, you will blow that money. There's always something more to buy, there's always something to get. Or sometimes in mysterious ways, like your car breaks down or your mum needs a little bit extra this month and you want to help out. It's just so peculiar how it happens, but we always seem to find a way to bring ourselves to our baseline. And this is the nervous system capacity. And the same thing happens if you earned a little bit less than what you used to get in. Suddenly, you're going to get a kick in the ass, you're going to do a little bit extra work, or you're going to magically ask someone to lend you money, or you're going to receive money from somewhere. Honestly, these things happen almost like a mystical experience, but we always seem to bring ourselves back to our baseline all the time. And hence why actually a lot of the lottery winners, this has been studied, this has been researched, they seem to bring themselves back to their baseline within a year. They blow most of that money away. It's crazy, right? So many lottery winners end up more broke than they began. And the reason again is they have not worked on their capacity of holding more. So think about a balloon. A balloon has a certain capacity of taking air or water, whatever you're filling up with, that's your business. And if you fill that balloon up any more than that it can take, what is going to happen? It's going to pop, right? You're not that different. You are going to pop. And when you pop, this is when you blow money. So your capacity works exactly in the same way of the balloon. You told yourself somewhere along the line, you said, this is my baseline. And within that baseline, you decided whenever you've got more, you'll find a way to spend. And whenever you've got less, you'll find a way to make that money up. And the thing is, you can't force this process because your body does not feel safe holding more. It finds it dangerous and disconnects to your money beliefs. So, for example, if suddenly I had $1 million in my bank account, my old belief is going to start surfacing and it's going to tell me if you're a caring, loving person, then you should be sharing. You should not really be holding to all of this money. Or if you have a belief that money, the common one is money is the root of all evil, or that people will ask stuff from me. So then again, you're going to find a way to blow that money away because your nervous system is wired to hold a certain amount, and anything more is dangerous. Anything less is unsafe. So now that we kind of covered that your nervous system capacity already decided how much you're worth every month, and it always makes sure that this is the exact amount that you're going to be getting. Let's talk a little bit about how we're actually going to expand our nervous system capacity to hold more. It is really important that we don't force, we don't push, because that does not work. That puts your system into an override and you become panicky, you become uncomfortable, it just becomes a little bit unbearable. The way we do this is like this: you need to learn to tolerate discomfort a little bit more than what you are tolerating. You might be saying to yourself, well, I am not uncomfortable if I have an extra, 100 grand in my account. You say this, but are you going to be able to have that money sitting there and not spend it? This is the key, right? Because your nervous system is going to find a way to bring you back to your baseline. Try something like this. If you get a little bit more money in a month, don't spend it. Just leave it there. Just leave it sitting in your bank account, staring at you every time you open your bank account. Honestly, you could even do this, like ask a friend to lend you a little bit money. You're not going to be spending that money. You're just going to be holding it in your bank account for a month. It sounds ridiculous, but honestly, this is how you start training yourself. I can have more and I don't have to spend it. I don't have to do anything with it. Even if you really need something, you can just have it sitting there and not do anything with it. Or the opposite, if getting more is a little bit difficult at the moment, have a little bit less. Maybe give someone a little bit money to hold it for you, okay? And that find a way to be comfortable with having a little bit less for a month, assuming all of your basic needs met, obviously. Because sometimes you don't actually have the earning limit. you actually have the holding limit. So, this exercise is really going to help you learn to hold money. Notice what comes up. It might feel a little bit uncomfortable because suddenly your nervous system is going to tell you, you have to buy this. Now you've got this much money. Go and take this. Go and purchase this. So, this is the expansion. You can have that money sitting in your bank account and you can just look at it, stare at it, and not do anything about it. I hope this was helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you did find some value in this, and see you in the next video.